What is up, everybody? Thank you for joining us for this video. Today we're going to be doing some fall cleanup. We're going to be mulching some leaves, and we're going to do a before and after transformation of this house. It's not going to be a serious fall cleanup. We're not going to get into beds or anything like that because it's still pretty early in the fall season at the time of this recording, of course. Um, but yeah, we're not gonna hit the beds so much, but it's gonna be more so just cleaning up the lawn area, and making it nice. There's just gonna be one quick service we're gonna do. Obviously, we do deeper cleanups later in the season, more so towards the last services that we're gonna do for the year is when we'll do a deeper clean. But today we're just doing more of a quick and easy, mulching some leaves, cleaning up mainly the lawn area as previously stated. And yeah, we're just gonna take it line by line. On the top or on one side, you're gonna see drone footage, so you're gonna get the top view, and then on one side, you're gonna get more of a up close and see how the machine is working with the leaves. So we're hoping that whichever way or perspective that you enjoy viewing, it's gonna be available here on this video. We kind of like having both sides viewing at the same time in order to hopefully for the viewer side it's kind of showing all angles as best as possible in order to make it a very pleasant viewing experience. So I know I said earlier in the video that we weren't really gonna touch the beds. I mean, right here we're just doing a light tap clean. You know, we're not really digging in and cleaning out under the bushes or anything like that. That's usually more reserved for deeper into the fall season. So right now we're gonna see we may leave a couple leaves here and there, but we'll get the bulk of the leaves out of the beds and put them onto the lawn so that we can mulch them with our mower. And but yeah, we're not doing seriously deep cleanup at the moment. Just kind of lightly touching those beds and getting them onto the lawn so we can get them nice and mulched up and get the lawn nice and clean. On our usual services, we like to work in the small spaces first. So usually you see how we're working on the left side right now. Usually that would be the first spaces that we cut down, and then work in the bigger spaces. But because of the wind, especially when working with leaves, we like to work with the wind as opposed to working against it. So the wind was blowing from right to left today. So that's why we did the bigger part first, even though usually we would recommend leaving the bigger parts last. So as you can see, we're working with the wind because when you go with the wind blowing the leaves away, it really helps to make the work more efficient. But if you're going against the wind, they're just gonna blow back in your face, and whatever you cleaned up, it's just gonna get dirty again. So that's why right now you see us kind of blowing the leaves into a smaller area when usually our best way of organizing the work is to leave the bigger areas for last so that we can have more space to work with. Obviously, it'll be easier to throw a bunch more leaves into more open space, but today the wind wasn't agreeing with our usual strategy, so we always have to make adjustments. And today we had to work in we had to leave the smaller spaces for last as opposed to leaving the bigger spaces. So that's why you see us right now finishing up one side, which was the bigger side, and blowing it onto the smaller side. And we're just about finishing up with the front. I really like how it's turning out. I really like how the green really shows through on the lawn, especially in contrast to the leaves. And it's looking really good, looking really clean. There's a clear border division between the property we're working on and the neighbors. So the cleanup's going pretty well. And we're gonna start heading over to the back. There you go. That's the front, nice and finished. And we're crossing over to the back. Wow, I really like the color of the house and the roof. The roof of the house has a really nice color. Okay, so we're right here in the back now, and we're just basically doing a continuation of what we were doing in the front. We're just gonna take it line by line, little by little. We're cleaning up, like we said, a light cleanup of the beds. Nothing too detailed, nothing too crazy, because we're gonna come back to this house for a couple more services. So, we just take it out little by little. It's not really till the last service that we're really gonna give that deep, detailed clean to leave it nice and clean for the winter, leading into the spring. So, we're just lightly touching those beds. Nothing too intense. Here we go. We're just going line by line, getting all those leaves nice and mulched, nice and picked up, trying to leave the property nice and clean for this service. We're just attacking this little side of the house, and then this little middle area right here by the patio. The house has it's a very unique shape, so it's really important to have structure when doing the work, because on houses like this that are kind of spaced out a bit, and with like a section here, a section there, it's really important to stay organized and be conscious of your spacing and what you're planning on doing in order to accomplish the final goal of having the property clean. So right here we're just moving on to the final section of the house and finishing off this cleanup. And right here we're just kind of blowing off the leaves. There's quite a bit here actually. And this is really where the bulk of the leaves in the house really accumulate during the fall. And right now what you'll see is we're just blowing the leaves off the edges, and that's going to make it easier for the mower to pick up the leaves and to mulch them. It's a lot harder on the mower if you leave that buildup on the edges, because it's not gonna let the blades suck up the leaves and really mulch them up. So right now what you see is that the blower is just pushing those leaves out into more open space and allowing the mower to mulch them up and discharge them. So there we go. We're already underway, getting a bulk of those leaves mulched up, and we're just gonna toss them out into this little wooded area in the back right here. And here we go. We're just going line by line, finishing strong. There's a big contrast in color because there's quite a few bunches of leaves still left, but we're just taking it little by little. There we go. You can see the clear division between where the leaves have been mulched and where the leaves are still laying on the grass. And we're just discharging them into the wooded area, and leaving them nice and mulched, and just blowing in whatever's left over, trying to do our best to leave the work nice and clean. that, we are done with our cleanup. We're gonna move on over to some before and after shots so we can see more of a visual change in the property after having cleaned up all those leaves. And let's get to it. Here we go. Look at that lawn full of leaves, and there you go, nice and clean. Look at those lines nice and set in. And we're heading over to the back, full of leaves and gone as well. Here's a ground view of the front right there, nice and cleaned up. And right there on the front as well, and the bigger lawn area, nice and clean. Thank you for joining us. Oh, one more of the back, and there you go. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Take care. Till next time.